This is Monday with the Manager on 18 WJTS. I'm Bill Potter. I have traveled to Ferdinand, Indiana. We're going to talk with Town Manager Chris James. And Chris, a lot of people had a lot of rain over the weekend, especially Sunday. How did you fare here in Ferdinand?
We actually, in the scheme of things, came out pretty well. We didn't have quite the impact of rain that Huntingburg, Jasper, points to the north and west of us did have. I didn't get an official rain gauge count from our plant this morning, but I'd say probably in the 3, maybe 4 inch range. Some of the areas that are more prone to quick flooding did, and then the water receded very quickly thereafter, which is kind of the par for the course with us. Not near to the extent, again, obviously, to Huntingburg and Jasper areas where I know they're still dealing with some of the fallout, as it were, from the floodwaters. We were fortunate, and we'll hold our breath and fingers crossed that we don't get any more of that anywhere in the near future.
Well, let's hope that we have a really nice weekend, because this weekend is the Ferdinand Heimat Fest.
Yes, it is. And want to invite everyone to 18th Street Park. We'll start up Friday afternoon. I think 5 o'clock is when all of the booths open up. And thanks to Master Brand Cabinets, they are again the corporate sponsor for this year's Heimat Fest activities. And we've got great music lined up Friday night. Saturday night is the headline performer, Cale Dodds. He's an up-and-comer in the country scene. He'll be performing on the big stage Saturday evening. So we encourage folks to come out. Lots of food booths. I know a venture you're involved with, food-related. The barbecue will be Saturday morning again. So they'll still have that opportunity to sample some very good food in addition to the food vendors.
and this year, the Ferdinand Heimat Fest is buttonless, except for the barbecue. You'll need to pay a fee just to get an eating bowl, but buttonless.
And that's also because of the generosity of Master Brand. Always in the past, a lot of the things you could just kind of come and go, but in certain areas you needed to have the button, which, I mean, it's a nice souvenir if nothing else, but it also got to, I think, be more trouble than it was worth in terms of who sells what, when do we start selling, when do we pull them back, and make sure they had enough available. And through the financial auspices of Master Brand and the other sponsors, they were able to go buttonless this year, other than the barbecue fee. It's not even really a button, but just a pay-as-you-eat fee to go down the line.
What sort of involvement does the town of Ferdinand have with the Ferdinand Heimat Fest? It's a separate group that runs this as a separate festival, but I'm sure that you have your hand in it somewhere, maybe helping with certain things. Well,
we try to help out, especially the week going into it, to make sure that the park is mowed, trimmed very nicely, everything, the aesthetics are very good. We also get in and clean up the restrooms and the shelter houses, have everything as sparkling as we can heading into the event, because you always want to have that good first impression. If it's somebody's first time to Ferdinand or first time to Heimat Fest, you don't want them to go into a public restroom that's all in disarray. You want it to look about as nice as at your home, maybe even better, depending on how, if you're a bachelor, it might be a different case altogether. But we try to have things as prepared as we can. And again, our park crew, they get the mowing done early on in the week, touch up, they weed eat everything just to have it as ready to go as possible come Friday afternoon. I know a lot of the Heimat Fest folks, the vendors and such, they spend the week doing booth setup and construction, so they'll be out off and on evenings through this week getting things prepared for their booths in advance of the fest this actual weekend.
All right, so the Ferdinand Heimat Fest is Friday and Saturday.
Yes, 18th Street Park.
Well, Chris, thank you very much for talking with us.
Bill, thank you, sir.
We are in Ferdinand, Indiana. We have been talking with Ferdinand Town Manager Chris James on this edition of Monday with the Manager on 18 WJTS.